Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Muji ji ki jai. Thank you all
मुझे
so
जी
much.
की जय।
Better mute this. Thank you all so much for joining in. We also have Shiva with us today, who is in Bangalore. Say hi, Shiva. And if this is your first time in Satsang, know that the way to ask questions is through the chat window. And Shiva can ask here. I know he won't ask, but if something comes, you can also ask. I'm also very happy. Very good. So, what shall we speak about today? Namaste, namaste. I made it before most of you today, isn't it? We had a beautiful satsang yesterday about surrender. There's a feeling here to speak about surrender. It's very beautiful. And today there's some feeling to speak a little bit about inquiry. Because the word inquiry gets used a lot, especially in satsang. We hear the word inquiry a lot. So there was a feeling to speak about inquiry. And Rashmi says, "Who's with you, Father?" So again, we can get Shiva to say hi. This is Shiva, old friend of ours from Tiruvannamalai and Rishikesh. All of us love him. Muji loves him. So Shiva is coming right now from Tiru, but he's going back up north to Dharamshala now. Okay, we have a question. Lonai says, I have been contemplating on surrendering, and it seems that full surrendering is merging into one with the one. We can look at this. I have been contemplating on surrendering, and it seems that full surrendering is merging into one with the one. Yes. So we'll look at this for a while today. Also, you can have a look at the recording of yesterday's satsang because the entire satsang was mostly about surrender. You can look at that. But what I want to say is that remember that surrender is not an action. Surrender is only a realization that there was never a person here anyway, even to surrender. So, surrender is not an action waiting to happen, it is a simple realization that this ego never existed and it cannot do anything, it cannot even surrender. But until that is completely seen, it is good to say, let thy will be done. Whatever you believe in, be it God, be it Master, it is good to say, let thy will be done. And then as you keep saying, let thy will be done, you will see that it was always the Guru's will, always God's will, which was happening anyway. And that realization is the complete realization of surrender. So, till it is felt that a person still exists, it is okay to say that I am now surrendering to you. And in this process itself, the person idea will dissolve. It will get completely washed out in this surrender itself, and you will see that it is only grace which has been doing everything, including the idea of surrendering. You see. So I felt today we can speak for a little bit about inquiry as well. Maybe we can take some of these terms which we use so often and look at them closely and what they really imply, because I see in many of these terms, and that's why I felt to speak about surrender yesterday. I feel that many of these terms now, there is still a lot of misconception about what it means. That's why we looked at surrender yesterday, and today for a while I feel we can look at inquiry also. So, what is it when we say self inquiry? What is it that we are really saying? What is the inquiry really about? What is it that we want to find out? Ultimately, what we are looking for is an answer to the root question. We start off by looking for an answer to the root question, which is, who am I? We can say, who am I? Or even we can say, what am I? So the inquiry starts off with this simple question. And it is greatly auspicious in this play when there is openness towards the simple question, who am I? There must already be some seeing, isn't there? There must be some seeing that I cannot be this person. Only then can there be an openness to this question. If there is total conviction in the belief of being an ego, total conviction in the belief of being a person, then the question will face so much resistance. And because this question faces so much resistance, it is good to have a master who you have faith in, who you trust, who you love. Because if the question is asked by somebody that you trust, that you love, then this trust and this love will help in overcoming the resistance coming from your own mind. So the inquiry is just a simple questioning about our true nature. What am I in reality? And initially, there seems to be a process prescribed. There seems to be a process prescribed as to how this inquiry can be done. And this aligns very well with the ancient Indian process called Neti Neti, which means not that, not that. So basically, what we are saying is that whatever is clearly not me, that we are keeping aside. So we say, this world which is appearing through my senses, this world of objects and phenomena is ever changing. But I am here witnessing this change. So I am the constant in this, but this world is ever changing. Therefore, I cannot be this. We say not that. So in one soup, we have thrown out all the phenomenal existence of the world, saying, I am not that. Then we turn inward and then we see what else could I be? What else could I be if I am not an object in the world? And also, when we look at the body, we see that I cannot be just a sum of what I seem to have eaten. I cannot be just made up of the food that has been consumed. There is something more to me than that. And this body is also constantly changing, and I am the witness of this change also. This body is changing all the time, but I am looking at this and I don't seem to be changing. Therefore, I cannot be this body. We say not the world and not the body also, which is part of the appearance. Then what else can I be? Can I be the thoughts? A thought could come and a thought could go. It is constantly coming and going. It is coming and it is going, and there seems to be a witnessing of these thoughts. I seem to be the witness of these thoughts. I don't seem to be the content of it. Therefore, even this thought I am not. And the mind appears to be only a bundle of these thoughts. These thoughts, including thoughts of past, which is called memory, thoughts like imagination, All these are also witnessed by me, but I don't seem to be any of them. So I am not that also. Then who am I? I am not the world, I am not the body, I am not the thoughts. Then who am I? What else is there? Could I be my emotions? One minute there is anger, second minute there is joy, another time there is frustration, and on another time there is peace. I am aware of all of this, and I seem to be the witness of these. I don't, it does not seem like I am any of these changing emotions also. Therefore, I am not that. Then who am I? Not these emotions also. Then who am I? Then I see that prior to all of this, there appears to be the sense that I am. And only when I am, all these other phenomena come into play. It seems like I am being, that there is a being here. This being seems to have a beautiful presence, pure innocence, unassociated with any other concept, just the pure beingness itself, just the sense that I am. And it is not the thought I am. Many of us mistake the sense I am to be the thought I am. But this being is prior to thought. And the simplest way to become aware of this being is to ask, can I stop being now? And there can be a time where there is no thought, but I am still being, isn't it? But I am still being. So this being is ever present in the waking state and the dream states. This being is always present. But even then we ask, but there is something which is aware even of this pure being, this pure consciousness itself, there is awareness of it, isn't there? And even this consciousness seems to come and go. When I am asleep, then even this presence I am is not there. But I am aware of its presence and absence also. I am able to report that in deep sleep it was not there. So I am not even this consciousness. Then who am I? What seems to be left now is only the pure witnessing of all of this. There is a witnessing of all of this, and it is the witnessing itself which is witnessing itself. Therefore, in the simple question, are you aware now? We see that awareness is aware of itself. And this awareness is now seen to be all there is. The unmoving, the untouched witnessing to all that exists. I am this which no words can accurately describe. And this simple seeing is the fruit of the self inquiry. Very good. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So you see that the inquiry starts off with a question, but if all that you have at the end of the inquiry is a verbal answer, a smart answer is not the end of the inquiry. It is just the simple seeing that I am this pure witnessing itself. I am this pure awareness itself. And in this simple seeing, there is no room left for a personal identity. No person can exist here at all. Okay, let's look at the questions. Very good. Okay, let's start with Cornelia, who says, it is possible that I am not even the I. Yes. As long as we are referring to the I as a personal identity or an entity, it is possible. This being is consciousness, the feeling I am. Yes. This being, the beingness is consciousness itself, the presence I am, not the thought I am. And Ginger says, so being is synonymous with aliveness, life in this form. Yes. So when we are referring to ourselves as consciousness, we can say that I am life itself. But ultimately, we have seen that we are the awareness even of this life. So in this inquiry, what am I? It is clearly seen that I cannot be the ego, I cannot be a person at all, and I am this pure awareness itself. It's clear? Are there any questions about the inquiry? Or do you get stuck somewhere you feel? You can ask any questions about it. Or if there are any other burning questions, we can look at those as well. Om says, Father, Stacy says she is in satsang and she is happy to be here. Very good. Welcome back, Stacy. She is unable to use chat apparently. Yes. Aryav says, yes, thank you, Ananta. Yes, clear. Cornelia says, clear. Yes. Kapil says, should this inquiry be done like a regular meditation practice? Or would that increase the doership feeling? It's a very good question. So, my suggestion is don't make a practice out of it. Once it is seen that this is what I am, then does this need to be practiced? Does practice make it better? We can only practice that which makes something better. But initially, it is okay to confirm. Like we keep taking this example, if you have always believed that the sun rises from the west, and the master comes and says, no, 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 it actually rises from the east. And because you trust and love the master, you say, okay, I will check. So the master is actually saying, you are not this person, you are this pure awareness itself. And because you love and trust the master, you are willing to check. Through the inquiry, you check and see, yes, this seems to be true. But it does seem initially that the conviction was very strong that the sun rises from the west. And any time we are suffering, actually, so suffering is, as my master says, God's alarm clock. So when suffering comes, we know that I am believing that the sun is rising from the west, or I am believing that I am a person. And very quickly, this question, who am I, can cut through all of that. But why I'm saying don't make a practice out of it is because some of us try to use it like a band aid. We go about our own way, believing every egoic thought, and then when the suffering becomes too much, then we want to sit and say, who am I? Who am I? So rather than that, I would say just let go of every thought. Simply put, let go of your next thought. Just let go of your next thought. And now that the true seeing has happened of yourself as this awareness itself, then you don't need to necessarily go through the entire process of not that, not that, not that. It's very simple. In a moment, you are back to seeing your own true reality, and the confusion about misbelief can be dropped. In the simplest question, are you aware now? There is a lot of potency to just cut through all the misbelief. But any time you feel that there is suffering here or there's something you want to do, then the inquiry is a beautiful thing to do. Ginger says, Anantaji, is it okay to ask who sees this or who is the seer rather than who am I? Yes, yes. That's a good thing to ask as well. Who sees this? Because if it is clear to you that I cannot be that which is seen, that I must be the witnessing itself, then it is also simple to ask who sees this. So there are many versions of this inquiry, isn't it? We can say who sees this, or we can say who is suffering from this when there is suffering. We can say who is believing this. Yes. So that is fine as well. Ustreamer 986 says, is it so simple, Father? This before I am. Yes. The mind will try to tell you that it is not simple, that there are few rare beings who see this. No? The mind will say, but it is one in a billion. But you, right now, when I ask you, are you aware now? And if you're not playing with the mind, you will say yes. With a childlike innocence, you will just say, yes, I am aware now. And then I ask you, what is seen that you are able to confirm this? Is there an object that was seen? Is there a phenomena that was seen that you are able to confirm that I am aware? No. It is just awareness is aware of itself in the simplest possible way. But if you keep waiting for the mind's confirmation that yes, yes, this is it, if you're waiting for the mind to say that, it will not say that. It will always say almost there, little bit more, just one more satsang, one more season with Moji, something like that it will say. But you are aware right now. What is aware? It is awareness itself which knows awareness. You did not see an object to answer this question, and no object saw awareness to confirm this answer. It is just awareness being aware of awareness itself. Don't give these words to the mind, because the mind will always say this is too abstract, too confusing. The question is very simple. Are you aware now? And the answer automatically comes with a momentary clarification inside that yes. You see? So it is as simple as that. Cornelia asks a very good question. She says, who is doing the inquiry? Very good. There is only one doer of all actions. There is only one doer of all actions. And this one doer of all actions is consciousness itself. So it is consciousness itself which deluded itself to believe that it is a person, and it is consciousness itself which comes in the form of the master and says, no, but you are not a person. And this is the divine Leela. The one consciousness plays the role of the deluded and the one who is pointing towards freedom from delusion. So it is the same doer, the one doer and the one experiencer who also does the inquiry to rid itself of the misbelief that it is a person. Yeah? So in the play it seems like this consciousness has become addicted to the idea of personhood. That is why the master jokingly says that satsang is rehab for God Himself. God in the play seems to have deluded himself into believing the idea of personhood, and God Himself is coming as the master and saying that you were never this person. So it is actually a monologue that consciousness is having with itself. If the person never existed, then that which never existed can never do anything at all. You see? Ian says, Ananta, I still find awareness being self aware not my truth. If this was the case, if this was the case, would we not have been aware before birth, like many hope to be after death? So, okay, so we'll talk about the birth and death. Can you tell me, are you aware now? Just look and tell me if you are aware now. Then Ian says, sorry, same old guy, I guess. No, no, no. I've been waiting to complete this conversation. It's very good. So Ian says, I can say only consciousness now. I need consciousness to answer this. So, what is this I that needs consciousness to answer this? So, we seem to be making it more difficult than it is because we're relying on something that we know about consciousness. To be aware now, to answer whether you are aware now or not, what is it that is needed? We only need to answer in yes or no. I know I've skipped some questions, we'll come back to those after we talk to Ian for a while. Just pretend as if you're on the witness stand. You're on the witness stand and you're only allowed to give yes or no answer to this question. Are you aware now? No other facts or knowledge is required. Then you say, but without consciousness, does not everything go? This is my sense, yes. So we'll look at that. But first, let's be in the now and answer. See, I cannot have this conversation with you when you are asleep, isn't it? So we'll start from this waking state and then you see whether you are aware now or not. And then we'll talk about what could be happening when consciousness is not present. Ian says, yes or no answer. I would not know in this sense what it means to be aware. I would not know in this sense what it means to be aware. So, is there a witnessing here now? Forget about the content of what is being witnessed. We're not talking about the content. So we're not talking about whether I am is witnessed. We're not talking about whether the body is witnessed or the external world is witnessed. But can you really deny the existence of this witnessing here now, which is perceiving the entire play? And you say in meditation, when all objects go, very rare for me, yes, me too, awareness seems to go. Things just disappear. What about now? Is the witnessing absent now? Then you say actually awareness does not go, but awareness of awareness goes. But what about now? I can say I am witnessing, yes. Very good. So, what was seen to confirm that you are witnessing? To report that I am witnessing now, what was seen? You will see that there is a witnessing here. That is seen, but is it seen as an object? Is it seen even as a sense I am? We can never deny that the witnessing is here or that I am aware now, but what is seen to confirm it?
I know I can't be what brought me here. Not come. It's what me here. I'm so pain. Because
All the Master's grace, all Muji's grace. Very welcome. More than welcome.
nothing to speak, nothing to say. Only joy.
He says, nothing to speak, nothing to say, only joy. Look at that. I'm very happy, very happy.
Who I know why I come. All the way, all the way from Himalaya. I don't know why. For one day. Now I know.
He says, now I know why I come all the way from the Himalayas.
Now I know why I come. What brought me here. Thank you.
Thank you. I also find no word left here to say now. So we'll just be in silence for the few minutes that we have left. I'm sorry we haven't looked at all the questions, but we will continue next time or on Facebook. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you all so much for being in satsang today. Muji Ji ki Jai. May the Master's grace always bring this peace and joy to all beings. So much love to all of you.